You're listening to the Things Podcast, brought to you by the Things Industries.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alix Paultre, and I'm here at the Things Conference with Avi Rosenthal. He's with the Z-Wave Alliance, and I'd like to welcome you to the show, Avi. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is our very first Things Conference, and we're very excited to be here. It was one of these, we got an invitation not too long ago, and we jumped at the chance to be able to tell the story. But it's very interesting. The show is wonderful. It's very well attended, and we're really looking forward to next year as well.
Well, you know, Avi, I do think it was a very good move that they expanded the footprint of the things to not just be LoRaWAN, but to be other technologies that address the Internet of Things, because Z-Wave is one of those technologies that I are really interested in seeing expand into the marketplace. So why don't you tell us, the audience members who don't know a lot about Z-Wave, where does it come from? What's it based on? What are its pluses? And you might even throw in a couple of minuses if you can think of.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are no minuses, of course. We have a perfect technology. No. I'm kidding with you, of course. So Z-Wave Alliance has been around now for a little more than 20 years. So we've been we traditionally were a manufacturer-owned protocol. And about 4 years ago, Scilabs acquired us, and Scilabs set us free, as I like to say. So we became a standards development organization, or an SDO, which then gave us the opportunity to open up our software and to be a completely open source protocol. So Z-Wave operates in the sub-gigahertz realm, similar to LoRaWAN, except in our case, we certify every product that sits on the Z-Wave system. So you come up with a great idea, you put a Z-Wave radio in it, you bring it back to the Alliance, we certify it, and what that does is it absolutely guarantees interoperability of your product with every other Z-Wave device out there. We have incredible encryption technology to protect the signals from point to point, and we are very efficient in battery life. So we have devices, for instance, that'll last 10 years on a single battery. So Z-Wave is very excited to be here because the idea of the Things Alliance or the Things Group expanding and allowing other technologies to invade their turf, if you will, is very exciting, and we've had great opportunity to meet with a whole bunch of other alliances and really raise the level of dialogue about how different RF technologies can solve different problems. We compete on some level, right? There's always some level of competition, but really it's all about working together to solve the problems that are presented, to give the developers and the engineers and the real idea thinkers the right tools to be able to solve the problems that they're looking to solve.
Well, you know, Avi, you make a good point there also about having to solve the issues. And yes, there is some overlap, but I do believe we are in a world where people had thought that we were going to migrate towards a single lingua franca for everything. Yeah. But what the reality is becoming is that a modern advanced device is going to be multilingual itself. So like your phone is Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, right, 5G. It'll soon have terrestrial. Exactly. You know, there's like 1,000 filters in your phone. You know that's that. So the future solutions will have to be more and more multi-protocol. But I like the fact that you're with the Z-Wave. It at least enforces compatibility within the device families.
Yes, it's very important to us, backward compatibility. As a matter of fact, in my own home, I have a PIR motion sensor and a light switch that were assigned to each other in 2002. And they still operate today within the standard Z-Wave framework so that when I walk into my master bedroom closet, the light comes on. And that backwards compatibility is very special in the technology world. Too many times, unfortunately, consumers are left with things that stop operating or they become outmoded, there becomes new technology. But in the Z-Wave world, not only do we assure interoperability amongst our devices and backward compatibility, but we also assure encryption. And encryption these days is highly important, cybersecurity, very important. But I also agree with you that there are different solutions for different problems. And so Z-Wave, we like to think that we're the right solution for every problem, but obviously there are things that we don't do well. Large bandwidth applications, for instance, are not something that you would use Z-Wave for. And so our goal as an alliance is to be interoperable and compatible with the other RF technologies that exist in the world. So we have regular conversations with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and Wi-Sun and LoRa and all the other alliances out there to talk about different ways that we can work together to make sure that there is interoperability. It's very similar to the way that you wouldn't have one language spoken around the world, is the same way that there are different RF languages meant for different purposes.
Right. Now, when you think of Z-Wave and purposes then in application spaces, are there application spaces that Z-Wave is better for than others?
So traditionally, we've been in the residential world, right? So command and control, lights, thermostats, door locks, all kinds of different things that you want to command in your home. And we've been really good at it and very successful at it. In America, for instance, Z-Wave devices reside in more than 35 million homes. It's a great number. Around the world, you're talking about another 10 to 15 to 20 million, depending on the country and the area. What we've branched out into now is something called Z-Wave Long Range. Z-Wave Long Range takes the learnings that we had as a mesh technology, which we were for many years, and turns it on its head. It allows for thousands of nodes on a network, allows for longer range compatibility. We can get range now up to 2.5 kilometers from point to point. Very, very robust. And by the way, when we go 2.5 kilometers, it is full bandwidth. So our 100 megabit per second stream is the same at 2 feet as it is at 2 miles. So it's something very different within our technology. As well, we get excellent battery efficiency. Some of our Z-Wave technology sensors can actually last 10 years on a single battery. And I'm talking about coin cell batteries.
Oh, okay, so not like a lithium dinyl fluoride.
No, we're talking about standard coin cell type batteries for door and window sensors and things like that. So again, the Z-Wave works in a great many ways and a great many things. But if you want to send video or audio, we're not your solution. If you want to send signals longer than 2 miles, we're not your solution. But playing well with others is our solution. One of the goals since we become an SDO is to make sure that our members, and we are a member-driven organization, we have over 400 members now, and those members drive innovation within the protocol and drive innovation within the interoperability. And so the idea is that our members come to us with great ideas that we then integrate into the standard protocol. One of those ideas, for instance, is batteryless technology. Imagine a water sensor that you put down in your basement and it sits there for a decade before water ever touches it. The battery never runs out because there is no battery. When water touches it, a spring is released. That generates enough energy to send a Z-Wave signal to your hub to say there's water in your basement. You no longer have to worry about, did the battery die? Is the battery alive? Did the system check in? Is everything okay? Did somebody move the sensor? All of that is taken care of by our new Wake on Event technology that allows sensors to sit quietly for long periods of time and to be woken up and collect kinetic energy from waking up and send signals to alert people to certain situations.
Very cool, Avi. Very cool. So, is there anything about Z-Wave that we haven't brought up yet that you think the audience should know?
Well, again, I'd like to stress the fact that we are a member organization. If you're interested in the Z-Wave protocol, you're interested in Z-Wave technologies, get involved. Come and join the Alliance. We have membership levels all the way down to an academic level for $100 a year. And the beauty there is you can join, you have access to all of the technology, all of the write-ups, all the GitHubs, all the source code, so you can develop what your great idea is next within the Z-Wave family. And we think of ourselves just like that. We are a family. Our members, some of them have been around for a couple of decades with us. And so when we get together for our conferences, similar to this one, there's a camaraderie. So I welcome anybody who thinks they have a great idea for a connected device. Come and take a look at Z-Wave. Come and take a look at the Alliance. We have lots of resources to help you make that idea a reality.
Very cool, Avi. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. I really appreciated this conversation.
It is absolutely my pleasure, and thank you for the invitation.